Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy, the Strongest Wizard, and tonight is indeed Fight Night. We have ourselves yet another OP09 match. We got my man, I Love My Chopper, on the left-hand side, rocking out that blue Doffy, of course, as well as Baller on the right with that Rosinante, a leader you really don't see. And before we get things going here, I have to make a couple things clear. One, this is a really cool matchup. It's Doffy versus Rosinante. They're literally brothers. Let's freaking go. Number two, I absolutely love Rosinante as a character in the anime. He's my favorite character in the anime, so that's super cool to see. Third off, we're gonna see exactly how this matchup goes. If you don't know, which you probably don't know, what Rosinante does, he's a 4-life leader, green and blue, and he's a blocker as well. At the end of your turn, if you have 6 or less cards in your hand, you can actually restand this leader. So really cool what you can do with some of the cards in your deck. And we do see that sugar coming down. It's gonna be able to rest something, and then we're swinging over the Sengoku, and then obviously we're just gonna go ahead and pass the turn. Now Doffy has to play around Sugar's ability. Of course, whenever you play a character, you have to rest it as well as Sugar. This is really cool. A good counterplay against this is you have to play at 2 bodies and then rest it and swing into it. It's a really nasty card, honestly. The card's actually kind of broken. There's not many really good Rosinante family cards, or Don Quixote Pirates cards, right? Leaders. So we're gonna go ahead and play out the Buggy. I think we actually forgot to use these effect, or we just don't want to, maybe. We're gonna go ahead and tap 2 for the Teach there. We're gonna use the effect. We're gonna go ahead and put a card at the very top of our deck, and we are gonna go ahead and give 2 rested Dawn to our leader. We're gonna go ahead and swing 7k into the Sugar, playing out the Jinbei that we did put on the very top, and we have about 4 cards in our hand. We're going to go ahead and play the Croc, and then we're going to use leader effect here. We're going to block this attack and then take our own life. Really interesting. We're going to prioritize keeping the Sugar because it helps us kind of manage and handle the board. Obviously, Doffy loves to control or go very aggressive, and if you can starve them with cards, it's actually really helpful. So we are going to go ahead and play out the 3-cost Doffy. We're going to rearrange the top 5 cards, and it's so interesting on the way you can play this deck. It's kind of funny. So we're going to go ahead and swing 7k into this Jinbei, and then we're going to use leader effect here because we have 6 or less cards. We're going to go ahead and pass the turn. Now, if you guys are wondering, that looks like 4 Dawn. It's actually 5 Dawn. Baller's at 5. He's just kind of hiding the other Dawn, not on purpose or anything like that, right? So we are back here with I Love My Chopper's turn, and I think really, once again, anything you play, it's going to get rested. But the really cool thing about Sugar is that you can choose what to rest. It's not whatever comes out, it's just that you have then activate its ability where you have to rest something. So it's actually pretty nice. But no matter what, Sugar does get rested when that ability does activate. So just to make that clear, hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying, which I'm assuming we're going to see here as well. So obviously the effect of Rosinante being a blocker is a gift and a curse. Helping to protect your character stay alive is great, but also you taking your own life, which essentially if you go down to 0 and then you take your last swing, you just lose, right? So very interesting here. We're gonna see exactly what I Love My Chopper can do. We're gonna start things off here with a Gekko Moria. We're going to use Sugar's effect here, and we're going to target the Crocodile since it can swing this turn, and of course resting itself. And I Love My Chopper does have to remember to get the Gekko Moria target. So Baller just going to letting him know, hey, don't forget about your free card. So he does grab that Jinbei, and it looks like we're debating what to swing into the Sugar here. So this is a 2k swing. We're gonna block with the 4k Doffy. We want to keep that Sugar alive. It's not going down this turn, I can assure you. And if you swing with that Teach is going down next turn. So Teach is honestly really valuable as a card. So it's actually kind of scary that you have to be like, okay, do I really want to let go of this Teach this turn? And let's see if I Love My Chopper is actually going to go for it. And funny thing enough too is I'm assuming I Love My Chopper has a 0 experience in this matchup. Like, who does, right? So we're going to see exactly what we can do. We're going to use Teach effect here. We're going to play that Jinbei that we just lost and got back from our trash there. And we're going to attach 2 Dawn. We're going to swing 7k into life. We're going to play out the Jinbei. Jinbei effect, we're going to go ahead and replace the Buggy, play out the Weevil, draw a card, and this is a 7k swing going into Sugar, which we just let go. You know what? You got it. And then we're gonna go just past the turn. I think for the fact of like, hey, you still have Teacher you can swing with. I don't want to lose that many cards for that card. It's just like at this point, your board is flooded. There's no point now. So we're gonna go ahead and attach 2 Dawn to our leader and swing 7k into the Croc. And yes, it does go down. And now we have the 5-cost Doffy, which does of course come active since it's just a 5/6 blocker, which is quite nice. And since we have less than 6 cards, we get to resend our leader. So the 6-cost Doffy is actually quite, the 5-cost Doffy is quite nice. It's a 6k blocker. At the end of your turn, if you have 2 or more rested characters on the board, including itself, you can actually restand him at the end of the turn. So 7k swing going into life. Baller is already at 3 life. We're going to go ahead and give him the 3-cost Doffy to block that attack. This is yet another 7k swing going into life. 2k, 1k will, surely help us out here if we choose to do so. We can also block and give him a 2k counter. I'm not sure exactly how much counter Baller has in his hand, or if, how much he's willing to go down to 0 as fast as possible. So we're going to go ahead and take this. We see a carrot at the very top, which is a fantastic card in this matchup. We see a 7k swing with the Jinbei. We're going to block and give him a 2k counter. We have 3 Dawn active. We can still use Teachability. Unfortunately, we don't have anything we don't even have any rested Dawn, unfortunately. I love my Chopper really being starved of resources here, as much as Doffy can. So it looks like after playing this card, we have 3 cards in our hand. So we're going to use Teach Effect, not even putting any rested cards or rested Dawn to our leader since we don't have anything rested. Playing out the Moria, grabbing back the Croc, and then swinging 7k into life, which we do end up taking. Baller at 1 life already, and the board is looking insane. I'm trying to think, how can Baller come back from here? This is a 5k swing going into Gekko Moria. You have a couple cards, and we're going to go ahead and give him the Teach. 6k swing into the Gekko. You have the Croc. We're going to give him the Croc. And now we have 8-cost blocker Kid, or not blocker, well, 8-cost Kid. Using its effect, play out the Rosinante, attaching a Dawn, and then restanding our blocker 5-cost Doffy. Since we do have 2 rested characters, we have the Kid as well as itself, so that gets unrested, and then the leader gets unrested as well. So pretty good here. We have, I think, exactly 6 cards in Baller's hand right now, and we have 10 Dawn for I Love My Chopper. Now, if you don't know, at this turn, like every single matchup that you play against 8-cost Kid, if you don't have the hard removal, you always have to go all in. You have to make sure that this character is removed or not. If not, then it's just kind of curtains, man. That's just the way it goes with Kid. So we're going to see exactly how I Love My Chopper chooses to navigate this turn. We can see 2 big swings, 3 big swings. We have 1 6k body, unfortunately. We don't have a boa or anything like that. We also have the femur in hand as well. Only issue with that is that we have the Rosinante blocker, the 2-cost character, to take that hit. So it doesn't even block, it just chooses to die for Kid. So that's really unfortunate. So looking at, at this point, it's looking kind of rough. So we see an 8k swing going into the Kid. We're gonna go ahead and give him the 1k carrot. We see another 8k swing going into Kid. I give him the 1k counter. We see another looks like 9k. Yep, 9k going into life. We're going to go ahead and give him the 0-cost event card. Of course, that's a 2k counter, which gets us, it was a 3k, but obviously it gets out of that regardless. So 5k swing going into the Gekko Moria, and of course this is 1 card, and we're going to go ahead and let it go. This is a 9k swing into this Weevil. I'm sure we let it go as well. 6k swing going into life. Really no fear with swinging that blocker because it gets the restand every turn, taking our first life, possibly. I think we did. I think this is possibly a trigger. I Love My Chopper taking a quick second to see if we want to take it, or maybe if we want to activate its trigger effect. A couple different options there. Not sure exactly which one he decided to do or is choosing to do so. I didn't see if you got to look at it. So I Love My Chopper taking a second to think about it. Totally understand. And funny enough, this is like around 3 at local. So we're gonna go ahead and take this life, I believe so. I mean, at this point, if you're I Love My Chopper, I kind of need some resources too. So yeah, taking that, and no, we do not see the removal of that gravity blade from trigger. So I'm keeping it in hand instead. We see the 3-cost Doffy coming down. We're gonna rearrange the top 5. I mean, man, we have access to so many good cards since I think blue is such a good like utility color. You know, there's so many different options, but putting them to the bottom is quite interesting. And now we have the 6-cost Inazuma coming down. Past the turn, we're gonna draw 2 cards, restand our leader, restand Doffy, and what is going on? 6-cost Inazuma says 7k body, blue character, of course. At the end of your turn, if you have, I believe it's like two or less cards in hand, you draw 2. And yes, if you have 2 or less cards in your hand, you draw 2 at the end of your turn. That is so good. You're able to kind of get rid of your hand with all the counter you have to only draw 2 more. A card that you really only see in like Ivankov. The Ivankov deck. So my man Baller is straight cooking with this list. So we are back to square one. We have 3 blockers now, including the leader. Now we do know that we have the Gravity Blade. So Gravity Blade can actually get rid of the Doffy as well as actually both Doffys. Only problem is that we have the Rosinante on the board. So the 2-cost Rosinante can actually it's actually bottom decking, so you can actually get rid of it. So 7-cost Gravity Blade hits the board, and now we're debating on our targets. I mean, if we really want to, we can get rid of the Inazuma as well. Really all depends what we decide to do here. So taking a second, I mean, at this point, we want to get rid of the blockers. We're only going to swing 8k at a character. We can swing 10k with the teach. So regardless, it's going to get the block, or we can even take our own life with our leader effect. So this is looking really rough here for I Love My Chopper. After this turn, Baller's gonna probably gain so much advantage. 1 from the Inazuma, and 2 from having a full board, or somewhat of a full board. So looks like we're going to hit both Doffys, and yes, they do go down, keeping the Rosinante on the board, attaching the 2 Restodon to our leader, and this is a big 10k swing going into our kid. We're going to go ahead and take our own life, dropping down to 0, and I'm sorry for laughing. This is just kind of hilarious. Rosinante, I mean... Rosinante. So we have a few cards. We're gonna go ahead and play out the Baby 5. That's the Don Quixote Pirates searcher there. So searching top 5 for a character. We're gonna grab the 2-cost Rosinante. He's back, better than ever. And we're gonna go ahead and attach 1 Don to our kid. We're making sure that we do so. And I Love My Chopper has 4 life still. 2 Baller 0, and this is just exactly what Kid does, kind of what Green does in this matchup. We're gonna go ahead and swing a solid 7k into life. 2 cards out of hand. I think I Love My Chopper only has 3, so that'd be quite unfortunate if we actually give him 2 cards out of our hand. So I think we might just take this, but no, we're actually going to give it to him. I guess realizing, look, he's gonna swing like possibly 2 more big swings after this. I don't want to drop down to 1 regardless. So we're going to see a big 8k going into life. We're going to go ahead and take it. We see a 9k swing going into life. We take this one as well, dropping down to 2. We're going to play another Baby 5, looking at the top 5. What do we find? We find a 2k counter Viola, and we're going to go ahead and tap 2 Don for yet another Rosinante. And at this point, I think you're just deadlocked. I think you can swing... you can have another Gravity Blade, swing once again 10k. We know that he has a 2k counter in hand, so I think even with a second Gravity Blade, it's really not helping you. What you would really need here is you would need a Red Rock. Red Rock would get you out of the situation, but we finally find our 4-cost law. We're going to play for 4. We're going to use the leader effect there. We're going to attach 2 Don. I'm sorry, the teach effect, attach 2 Don, put the law back at the very top, and we are going to swing pretty massive here, tapping for yet another law to bounce back the other one. And I think we have enough counter to get out of this. So this is a 2k counter, a 1k, a 1k, a 1k. So pretty good there, giving him 5k counter out of our hand. And that was a 12k swing going into 8, in case you were curious about the math there. Now, It's really really interesting. We have 3 cards in hand. Inazuma activates again at the end of this turn, most likely. This is a 5k swing. We're gonna see a 2k counter for a 5k, 7k swing going into life. This is just free for my man Baller here to just yep, so I love my chopper, drop me down to 1, no trigger, 9k swing going into life, and I think we might just go down to 0, and yes, we're gonna go down to 0, and now we play another 8 cost kid. Oh my goodness, character effect, drop at 2 cost Rosinante, and then just Inazuma effect, draw 2 cards, and then pass the turn, and 2 kids, Rosinante, and yeah, I love my chopper, just scoops it up. Thank you guys so much for checking out this channel as well as this video. I really do appreciate it, and stay tuned because I have a ton of new OP09 content coming out soon. See ya.